Fred Bradley's life was a journey measured not only in miles and hours flown, but in the people he touched, the communities he served, and the values he lived every single day. Born April 26, 1931 in Evansville, Indiana, Fred grew up in Providence, Kentucky, a place where the rhythm of small-town life was shaped by the newspaper his father James Bradley published and the values his family instilled. Frugality, punctuality, hard work, these weren't just lessons taught at home, they became the foundation of a lifetime. At Providence High School, Fred excelled academically, graduating as a valedictorian. By the time he reached the University of Kentucky, his ambition was already paired with a sense of purpose. In 1953, he graduated with a degree in journalism, serving as editor of the school publication, The Kentuckian. He was commissioned through Air Force ROTC as a distinguished graduate, an early recognition of his leadership potential. That same year, he entered the United States Air Force. Training took him across the country, from Lackland in Texas to Graham in Florida to Greenville in Mississippi and Perrin in Texas. By 1954, Fred had earned his wings and stepped into the role of fighter pilot with the Air Defense Command at Larson Air Force Base in Washington State. In 1956, he returned to Kentucky to pursue a law degree, which he earned with honors in 1959, balancing his legal studies with his commitment to the Kentucky Air National Guard. In 1967, he volunteered to fly a McDonnell F-101 Voodoo from California to Vietnam, serving in combat during the war. Just months later, during the tense days of the Pueblo crisis, he was recalled for 16 months of active duty. His assignments took him from Stanford Field in Louisville to the Panama Canal Zone, Alaska, and Japan. Each post brought new responsibilities: flight commander, detachment leader, squadron commander. Fred's ascent through the ranks was steady and earned. By 1974, he commanded the 123rd Tactical Reconnaissance Wing. In 1977, he was promoted to brigadier general. His leadership was defined by precision, readiness, and an unwavering commitment to the mission. By the time he retired, Fred had served 38 years in the Air Force and Air National Guard, logged more than 4,000 flying hours, and had earned some of the nation's highest honors. But Fred Bradley's life was never confined to the cockpit. He brought the same dedication he showed in uniform to public service in Kentucky. He served as Franklin County judge and for 16 years in the Kentucky State Senate, where he became the Senate Democratic whip. Known for his accessibility, Fred always returned phone calls, listened attentively, and respected the people he represented. He believed his duty was to the Commonwealth, not just to his district. He was very proud to have taken 86 bills to the Senate floor, 85 of which were passed. Veterans issues held a special significance for him, and he played a leading role in authorizing legislation for state veterans' nursing homes, tuition assistance for National Guard members, and legal protections for Army and Air National Guard members on state active duty orders. Additionally, he took pride in his contribution to the establishment of the Kentucky History Center in Frankfort. Beyond politics, Fred was an entrepreneur. He owned one of Frankfort's first pizza restaurants, ran Fred's fast freight trucking company for nearly 3 decades, and embraced ventures with the same energy he brought to military service. And then there were the horses. Fred's passion for racing began at a young age, nurtured by time he spent with his father at Ellis Park. Over the years, he became a prominent owner and breeder in the industry, achieving recognition as a multiple graded stakes winning owner with 467 starts and nearly $3 million in earnings. At his Indian Ridge farm in Franklin, Kentucky, Fred bred and raised some of racing's brightest stars. Notable among them were Brass Hat, a Kentucky-bred Grade 1 stakes winner, and Groupie Doll, a 2-time champion female sprinter. Fred consistently shared the credit for their success, always acknowledging the dedicated team that supported him. Those who knew Fred remember more than his titles and accomplishments. They remember his humor, his wit, and his genuine interest in people. His son Buff described him as disciplined but warm, a man who never met a stranger. Fred could work a political reception one night and swap stories in a barn the next morning with equal ease. He was a devoted husband and father. When his late wife Betty faced a long illness, Fred cared for her with steadfast devotion. Family was never secondary to duty. It was part of the same code that guided his entire life. Fred Bradley went west on May 20th, 2016, at the age of 85. He left behind his wife Kay, 4 children, 12 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren, along with an enduring legacy that spans far beyond Kentucky's borders. He's remembered as Brigadier General Fred Bradley, pilot, commander, public servant, horseman, entrepreneur, and friend. His story is a testament to the idea that service is not limited to the years spent in uniform. It's a way of living. It is therefore fitting that Brigadier General Fred F. Bradley, who lived a life of purpose, leadership, and generosity, be enshrined into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.